Welcome to Everyday Grapes, the channel that brings you wine for every day. At Everyday Grapes, we're looking at wines that are not just affordable, but are also buyable. This means that you can easily pick them up at supermarkets around the corner. Now, last week I read an article in a well-respected British newspaper that claimed that champagne is now cheaper than mouthwash. While this alone is already fascinating news, it begs the question whether that stuff is actually any good. Luckily, we have a bottle of one of the cheapest supermarket champagnes in our fridge, so we're in a good position to find out whether that stuff is any good. For centuries, champagne is a drink that has been associated with luxury, and being luxurious usually comes at a price. Now, a lot of that price tag is due to marketing, no doubt about it. However, making champagne is also more costly than making still wine. First of all, the cost of grapes is relatively high, given that they have to be harvested by hand in Champagne. Secondly, you have a process that involves double fermentation, and I don't want to go too much into technicalities, but you can pretty much guess that it's more complicated than single fermentation. Lastly, champagne requires a minimum aging of 15 months before you can actually go on and sell it in the shops. But before we all get too gloomy about the poor champagne makers, let's open a bottle and have some champagne. Today's champagne is from Carpentier, and it is a non-vintage champagne. This means that wines from several harvests have been used to make this champagne, and you will find no number on the label telling you when it was made. This champagne consists of a mix of Chardonnay, Pinot Noir and Pinot Meunier, which is quite a classical mix. Note that two of the grape varieties are actually red grapes, while the champagne we're tasting today is a white champagne. Opening a bottle of champagne is a bit more difficult than opening a screw cap bottle. However, if you follow some simple rules, it is actually quite manageable. First of all, you want to make sure that the champagne is really well chilled, so leave it in the fridge for a number of hours. Then you want to remove the golden, sometimes it's silver foil that protects the cage, just like this. I always put my finger on top of the cork when I try to loosen the cage, which is the next step. So you take this little wiry thing, twist it a bit, give it a shake. Now you can leave it on or take it off. I like to take it off, but while I do this, make sure that my thumb remains secured on the cork. Actually, I do it like this because I'm a lefty. Lastly, don't twist the cork, twist the bottle and then wait for the cork to pop. Et voila. This champagne has a pale golden color and fairly large bubbles. However, it does look quite nice in the glass. On the nose you get the typical citrus and green apple aromas. There's also a hint of breadiness or brioche coming from the yeast used in the second fermentation. This champagne is quite fresh. Again, on the palate you get green apple and citrus flavors. There's also a little hint of red flavors like strawberry. Acidity is well balanced, however the flavors do not stay long on the palate. So, how much is this champagne? Well, Tesco will charge you £12 per bottle. However, at the moment there's a special promotion, which means that if you buy a full box of 6, the price per bottle will drop to £9, which obviously is a very competitive price for real champagne. So what about the drinkability of this champagne? Well, I think it's fairly drinkable. It's fresh, it's balanced, and it's not too acidic. Also, it does taste better than mouthwash. You could have this easily as an aperitif or in the afternoon during a garden party. So how would I rank this champagne? I would give this champagne 3 stars. Yes, it's drinkable, yes, it's very fresh, but at the same time it is also pretty much middle of the road. And if you drink champagne, you do want a little bit of specialness. So personally, I would spend maybe a few quid more and get a champagne that is a bit more memorable and leaves me with a bit more drinking pleasure. Having said that, at a bottle price of £9, if you buy the full box, this is still an outstanding deal. That's it from Everyday Grapes, the channel that brings you wines for every day. If you liked this video, please press the like button. If you want to see more of upcoming videos, please subscribe. Hope to see you next time. Stay safe and drink well.